Why is it that some men just seem to attract amazing, incredible women while others struggle despite their best efforts? And before the internet comes at me, I am not just talking about those 6 foot, 6-figure salary kind of men. I'm talking about in general. Like, think about anecdotes from your life. Think about some of the maybe quirkier guys or less conventionally handsome guys who've managed to land really amazing women. And the truth is that these men are high quality men, and that's why they're able to attract these kind of women as well. And when I say high quality, I am not talking about the superficial stuff. I am talking about the values, the virtues that really come across when you know that someone is intentional, they're purposeful, and they are moving forward in life. Like, they are really living life to the full. And having someone like that in your life just adds so much value to you, and that's why they are a high value person. Because being in a relationship with someone like this just adds value, it adds joy, it adds excitement, it adds ambition, it adds motivation, encouragement, all these kind of things. And if you're not intentional about really presenting yourself as a purposeful man, as a purposeful person, you might end up attracting the wrong kind of women or pushing away the right ones. So this is why it's so important to understand the qualities that high value, high quality women are looking for in a man, so that you can really build yourself up to be that, present yourself in that way. And it's all stuff that is in your control. I'm going to break this down into 4 actionable steps. Firstly, I'm going to define what high quality actually means and how to appeal to these kinds of women. Secondly, how you can build genuine attraction without playing games. Third, how you can overcome insecurities that may be holding you back. And fourth, how to really stand out with ambition, stability, and integrity. Make yourself stand out like the man. They say biologically the sperm chases the egg, which is very true. So when the man is in pursuit of a woman, the woman is the one who's choosing. And to really stand out from the crowd, that's something that's really special and that's going to play in your favor. And all this contributes to my personal little mission that I feel God has given me on my heart, which is to help encourage more holy families, more amazing marriages, and more people to step into the fulfillment of their vocation if they're called to marriage and family life. I'm Delphine, and I've helped hundreds of young adults approach the dating world with confidence, intentionality, and purpose. And if you're interested in more dating content from a Christian perspective, then please hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment or a like, because I love getting to know you guys and building this audience, building this community. So let's dive right in. What does high quality actually mean in real life terms? I'm going to talk about the traits that women seek in a man, because obviously as a woman, I can give you that perspective, so I hope it's helpful. And I am a huge champion for the fact that men and women are different. And that's why we're so complementary when it comes to actually, coupling up and being there for one another. But there is something about an emotionally intelligent man, which to me just makes me think he has put work into his social skills, into his conversational skills. He's tried to become more aware of those around him. And there's something about that man, he can pick up cues. He's tactful. There's something there which is just, he's worked on his emotional intelligence, which is really good. And then kindness. Like, kindness will get you so far. If you see someone who just has a servant leader heart, that is just so attractive. And obviously as Christian men, you are called to be the head of the household, the leader, but to lead with this servant leadership the way that Christ led the church. And so to see someone who has this kindness within them, it makes a woman feel really safe and really secure, and it's incredibly attractive. And then there's ambition. And the thing by that, I'm not necessarily talking about a specific amount of wealth or anything like that, but there's something that is so hot about a man who's just passionate. I always say that interests make you interesting. And if someone is ambitious, it means that they have a vision for their lives. They know where they're going. They have a direction and a path. And that is really, really, really attractive. And especially to women, because it makes us just feel like, okay, this man, he knows where he's going. He's not aimless. He has ambitions for his life. This could be for his career, for his family, for the lifestyle that he wants to lead. Like, all these kind of things are like kryptonite to a woman in a good way, in the sense of it's just like, oh my gosh, that is just so incredibly attractive. And alongside that is integrity. They know who they are. They are constantly leaning into their virtues and their values and the way they really do want to live in this world. And they're not willing to compromise on that, whether it's their faith stance or their thoughts on chivalry or whatever it is, in terms of just, they're always looking to further deepen into the person and the character that God created them to be, and to discover that on the daily, because we are constantly evolving and constantly growing. And I think you really do see that when you meet someone who is into personal development, because you just see that they're on a trajectory of growth that holds integrity to who they are, and there's something incredibly sexy about that. And then there's purpose, and purpose is a word that I just like to use in general, because I think so many problems today in today's society is because people don't feel they have purpose. Whether that's because they haven't entered into their vocation, into their family life, or they don't have a job that they feel, you know, a real mission pull towards, or they don't have any passions or ambitions or hobbies or anything that's really like driving them forward. Maybe they are just living a little bit of a me-centric kind of life, and that kind of life ends up without purpose very quickly. So I think when you meet someone who knows what their purpose is, whether that's even at different stages, so it might be a single person who is volunteering, but they're volunteering for a cause that's really close to their heart, or it could be someone who is really close to their family of origin and maybe they're a part-time caregiver or something. There's something that gives them purpose, and you know, it doesn't need to be as deep as that. It might be that they have a dog, and that dog just gives them this sense of purpose, this sense of responsibility that they need to wake up and get up and walk it and feed it and etc., play with it. And it's this real sense of mission. It's this sense of, you know, I have a purpose. God created me on purpose, for a purpose, and I am trying my darndest to figure out what that purpose is. You know, of course, our lives go in really like wiggly, wobbly kind of ways, and we don't quite know where God is leading us. But when you see someone who is constantly seeking to lean into their purpose, again, that is just incredibly satisfying for a woman to see, because it just makes you feel like, I can trust this man to lead me because he leads from a place of purpose, not from a place of aimlessness or purposelessness or just going with the flow. Like, there's actual intentionality behind it. And I think that intentionality is incredibly attractive and shows high quality, high value in a person. In this, you'll note that I didn't talk about any physical traits or any particular wealth or anything like that. And that is because those more superficial qualities aren't qualities in themselves. They're more like the results of other virtues or values. So for example, if someone is very disciplined, it's most likely that they're going to be in better physical shape. Or if someone is, you know, really purpose driven by a mission in their work, they probably are going to be doing quite well in their career. So it's like those are amazing bonuses and amazing results and outcomes from those qualities, but it's those qualities in the first place that allow for those results to happen. So it's really important to know that you shouldn't be driven or attracted to the superficial outcomes. You should be attracted to the actual qualities that create those outcomes. And in that, it's, you know, really asking yourself, like, authentically, am I building X, Y, and Z to help grow in virtue, or am I building it as a status symbol? Our aim in life should always be connection and not just to impress others, because that again isn't from a genuine place. And when you move from this kind of disingenuine place, it's just not sustainable. I've used the word secure, safe in terms of like how women really want to feel. And you know, if you think about it evolutionarily, biologically, like, women are the sex who have more at stake. You know, we are able to create life and get pregnant. And that obviously means that we are in a more vulnerable state, and we really need to be picky when it comes to our spouses, because we need to know that that spouse is going to look after us in those 9 months when maybe we're not going to be as able or as productive or as able to look after ourselves and keep ourselves and our children safe. And that's why those words, stability, safety, security, that's just like so high on a woman's priority list. So you want to be looking for the qualities within yourself that symbolize those, you know, stability and maturity. We women, we're looking for dependable men. Men who can navigate difficult situations or challenges without drama. Men who are consistent, who consistently show up and consistently show who they are. Men who have good follow through. You know, they say what they mean and they mean what they say. And as Christians, you know, we look to Christ to like see the model of love. And, you know, we understand that love is to will the good of another. So we really are counting on our spouse being someone who's going to lift us up, who's going to love us, sometimes sacrificially and in a selfless manner, just willing the good of the other. And that whole concept of love is obviously incredibly profound, but that's exactly why when you find someone who's striving in virtue, that is just incredibly reassuring, and also will help you to attract someone with that same approach and that same view of how they want to treat you and how they want to love you sacrificially and selflessly. So how do you actually build attraction without playing games? Well, the truth is that core behaviors build attraction. Don't just tell us women what you think we want to hear. We want to genuinely connect with you and share meaningful experiences, understanding your true thoughts, your values, and what's inside. Like, what are your desires? What is your vision? What are your hopes, your fears for the future? And it's about coming across as confident and interesting. Confidence is really about knowing who you are and owning that, rather than performing for other people's approval. For example, when you see someone who's speaking with conviction about something they're passionate about, without exaggerating it, there's just this confidence there, which is very grounded, because we all know that this over effort just signals insecurity, and that can be a turnoff. It can be unattractive, which is sad, because obviously we try hard when we really like someone, but trying too hard can also have the complete opposite effect on the person we're trying to attract. And we can avoid that by avoiding over-explaining our achievements or fishing for that person's validation. Instead, let your actions and your consistency speak for themselves. And going back to that saying about saying what you mean and meaning what you say, in the Bible, in Matthew 5, I think, it's like, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And there's something incredibly comforting about a person where you just know where you stand with them, because they speak from that same level of integrity, and it just allows you to trust that person. So let your yeses be yes and your nos be nos. But which insecurities are holding you back, and how can you fix them? There are specific behaviors that reveal our insecurities. So for example, constantly seeking reassurance or approval, or over apologizing, or comparing yourself to others. And being self-aware of these patterns can be really good to catch in yourself, because it just makes you more rooted in your own confidence and not seeking that constant approval from others, because that can be really off-putting across all facets of your life, not just in your relationships, because underconfidence just cries unease, and unease makes people feel uneasy around you. So really you want to try to lean into not seeking others' approval, and really understanding our worth as children in God. And that's something I have to remind myself every day, because God willed us into existence, and the fact that He did that, the creator of the whole universe, with like me and you, is amazing in itself. And that's something to be revered and to be reverenced, especially when we meet other people as well, because each of us are made in the image likeness of God. So we really do need to treat everyone with that same dignity, no matter what their own beliefs are or their own values are. And that's another topic for another video. And with that, I think being self-aware. So being self-aware, yes, means understanding your value and worth as an amazing child of God, but also in understanding and identifying your own weaknesses. Basically taking inventory of areas where you feel you are inadequate. Are you overly critical? Do you struggle with jealousy? What kind of negative feelings come up in your interactions with people, especially with people of the opposite sex? Because this can be something that you can help to refine in yourself and to identify, like, okay, yeah, maybe I am actually a little bit possessive, or whatever it is, and you can figure out the root problem with that, and pray about it and grapple with it in your mind, and help to just reframe that and have a new mindset, which helps you to be free of those kind of patterns which are negative. When we address these insecurities, we're able to operate from a place of freedom, a place of confidence and peace, and that is just a way better place to try to attract your potential spouse from than one of insecurity. And finally, how can you stand out to women? How can you really make yourself, shine in a crowd? I've already talked about purpose, and truly women are so attracted to men with a clear sense of purpose and a commitment to living their values. Ambition in this way, it shows that you're working towards something bigger than yourself, and gosh, does that draw us in. And make sure to be your biggest cheerleader. You can demonstrate your values without being self-promotional. Do share your goals and achievements naturally in conversation. Like, show how excited you are by them, about the difference that your project at work is going to make, or about the freedom that your promotion is going to allow you to have in terms of having more time for a side hustle or a volunteering project, or whatever it is, time with your family. Like, just show the holistic view of that, and it's really, magnetic. But of course, it's important to show your ability to act out of humility as well. Humility is such an amazing virtue, and it's a difficult one for us to master in this day and age where we are all very much encouraged to be our own personal brand, to really put ourselves out there. You don't only need to talk about the goals, the outcomes, or what you're hoping to happen. You can talk about the journey and the people that are going to help you get there and the lessons that you've learned. There's a really lovely quote from Pope Francis where he talks about the hallmarks of true greatness. And he lists these as humility and service. And you know, as men, you are called to be the heads of the household, leaders of your family, and you're really called to lean into that servant leadership. So to be able to show that your ultimate vision and desires are grounded in this desire to, you know, serve others, serve your family, and serve the outside world is no small feat, I know, but there's something really, really, really like peace abounding about that. It just fills women with peace to know like, he's got it, he's got me. And honestly, that's what we all want. So I hope this has encouraged you, because attracting a high quality, high value woman, it's not about shortcuts, it's not about games. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Someone who values growth, integrity, and authentic connection. Because after all, relationships that are really built on these values, these virtues, they're the ones that last. Having that foundation of virtue and respect is such a strong one. So I hope this has been somewhat insightful, encouraging, or motivating, but please leave a comment and let me know if I've missed anything. I'm sure I have. This is not an exhaustive list, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. But have a great one, and God bless. Bye.